What's up everybody, welcome back to the Art of Crypto, the birthplace of absolutely legendary gains. In this video, we are going to take a look at ADA and figure out exactly where is the bottom, where are the institutions buying, and if you're holding ADA right now, what is the best course of action. The reason why I'm making a video like this is because if you have been following me on Twitter, I have been calling this exact, like Bitcoin, this Bitcoin move, I called this exact level where Bitcoin would get rejected and where I expect Bitcoin to go. So at the moment, if you have not already followed me on Twitter at _the art of crypto, you're going to want to do so because I'm sharing profitable trading setups over here every single day and you do not want to miss out. So if you're following me on my Twitter, you would know that I have recently switched my trading style a little bit. And after this recent Bitcoin shenanigans with the Wyckoff distribution, I believed it was necessary to look into institutional trading and how they do things, because it's hard to deny that institutions are the ones who are in control here. If we just go down to ADA, the ones that are making the biggest moves, for example, over here, this was retail, this was institutions. Over here, this was retail, this was institutions. So they are the ones, calling the large moves. And, there's the saying that, if you can't beat them, which we cannot, because our money is just like a drop in the ocean. And so there is no way for us to beat them. So, if you can't beat them, you join them. So based on my understanding of everything, I've already made quite a few snipes. And if you were in the private Discord group, you would know that I have already made multiple really highly accurate snipes on, Pancake, on Sushi, on Bitcoin, and heck, while everybody is out here, struggling to make money, everybody in the private Discord group is making an absolute killing. Like, look at this, 800%. This guy made 62% on, 5x. So if you haven't already joined the private Discord group, you want to go into the link in the description. And right now, if you pay with crypto, you can get up to 40% off. There's multiple members that have already paid off their monthly membership just in a couple of trades. And right now we are absolutely killing it. But anyways, let's go back to the ADA analysis. So we have to first kick things off on the monthly chart, and we have to sort of identify what is the major levels on the monthly level. And this is going to be a level where the institutions are 100% going to be looking at. And right off the bat, the $1 level is strong, and it's for a few reasons. If I just go to the daily chart and I bring up the 200 EMA, which is this purple line right here, you can see that, $1 sort of lines up. Not really, but sort of. And, it's previous support and resistance as well. But, if there's one thing that I've come to learn over the last few days is that, traditional support and resistance doesn't work at all. Or at least not the way that you think it is. So if we just go back to the monthly chart, right now, this is a monthly low. And, if I drag another line, that is another monthly low. And this is going to be our third monthly low. And for levels of the monthly high, we are going to want to mark this, although I doubt that we are going back there anytime soon. So let's just mark this level for now as the monthly high. And now that we are done with the monthly, we go on to the weekly and we try to identify the lows. And right off the bat, this is one of them, and this is another one of them. So these are going to be the major levels that we are going to be looking at. So now that we know what's happening on the macro scale, because institutions are not, trust me, institutions are not looking at anything below the 4 hourly. So you're going to want to learn to, familiarize yourself with using a higher time frame to do your analysis. And doing so, you can really predict exactly where the market is going to go. So right now, here's what I'm looking at. Now, if you were trading ADA at all for the past 2 weeks or so, no, probably a month. So here's what I'm looking at. If you have been trading ADA for the last month, right, basically ever since 19th of May, that means that, usually you would be buying. I don't know if you have been shorting or you have been buying, but either way, it doesn't change the fact that, let's say you were going long right now. Where would be a logical place to put your stop loss, right? Before we got this massive ADA dump right now, along with Bitcoin. And by the way, I called this spot on. If you were following me on Twitter or you were in the private Discord group, you would have made some pretty significant profits. So go follow me on both places. So before this happened, you would have thought, right, if you were subscribed to the traditional support and resistance theory, you would have saw that, we sort of formed a double bottom at this level. But this is exactly the reason why you do not want to go long, because when you form a double bottom at this level right here, let's say that you went long over here, where would be a logical place to put your stop loss then? You could think right below here or right below here. That means that there is a lot of liquidity at this level And so, what I've learned is that the market tends to want to go and attack the liquidity, right? Liquidity is over here. And that's why you see us wick down before going back up. Now, if I go onto the 4-hourly chart, you might be able to see this a little bit more clearly, right? We wicked down and it came right back up. This is because the market was attacking the liquidity. And if I simply bring up the VPVR indicator, you can see that in fact, this place right here, look at the volume over there. It is pretty massive. So institutions know this, right? Because their order sizes are so huge. They're trading in like the hundreds of millions or probably billions. They need an area of high liquidity in order for their orders to get filled without it being, skewed to the other side. So that is what I mean by the market attacking liquidity. And if you want to know more about this, I wish I could share this on YouTube, but if you want some detailed, like super detailed, highly accurate calls, you're going to want to consider joining the private Discord group. It's not that I do not share everything on social media for free. In fact, I do. It's just, sometimes you're not going to get the information in real time compared to in YouTube. So right now, the question you're probably going to be asking is this the bottom? Are we at the bottom yet? And let me just tell you one thing. Absolutely not. Here's why. If we just look at VPVR, yet again, take a look at this segment right here. If I zoom out a bit, it should be a little bit more clearer. Like right away, if I zoom out, right, you can see that there is a lot of liquidity over here right now, right below this level, because this right here, as we have previously marked out, is a major low. It's either the weekly low or the monthly low, which means lots of liquidity is over here. You can see liquidity up here, not much. So remember what I said about the market wanting to attack the liquidity. Right now, the liquidity is right over here, which means I fully expect ADA to drop below 1.25 to clear out the stop losses over at this level before potentially moving upwards. And then the next level that you're going to want to pay attention to is right here at 1.12, because over here you've got liquidity as well. Now, I don't know who would be setting your stop losses over here, but just based on VPVR, you can see that there is liquidity and market is going to want to attack liquidity. So if we do attack this level right here, you're going to want to look to get some ADA, potentially at the 1.08 level, because again, not only is that a weekly low, but you've got confluence. We know that liquidity is concentrated at around here, which means the next logical area of support is going to be this weekly low right here, where institutions are definitely going to be paying attention. So what am I trying to say? After all this, you might think I'm pretty long-winded. What I'm pretty much trying to say is that ADA is still going to continue to dump, because primarily over here we have two very high volume nodes, which means lots of liquidity at around this area. If an institution was looking to buy, they would have to stop out everyone here, because if you set your sell stop loss over here, if you're selling, guess who's buying? That's right, it's smart money. So expect ADA to drop to at least $1.10. But here's the thing, because liquidity is over at this level, you can't expect price to just find support at this level. What's going to happen is once all the stop losses are hit, you're going to see like a mass liquidation almost. Just like we saw on Bitcoin, by the way. Like, if you were following me on Twitter, when I called this yesterday, I said that there were sell stops right below this level. And so we would go and attack that level. And look, we did, right? We attacked it and, we got a mass liquidation. And then the next point of support was 33.5-ish, where that was a weekly low, I believe. And so, same concept applies here. If we attack that level of liquidity, the next point of support is going to be at $1.10. Now, is that going to be strong? Only time will tell. However, I do believe that $1.10 and about $1.01 is going to be an ideal location for you to pick up some ADA, because that is a fair price. Not only is that, a weekly monthly low, but at the same time, it is a area of like, decent support. But here's the other issue that I might want to caution you about. If you just take a look right here, right below these two swing lows, if you were long on ADA, pretty much any time before this, if you were long on ADA, realistically, if you have not already exited your ADA position, where would you logically put your stop loss at? You would think right here, because it's a safe level, we're probably not going to hit it, and that is precisely what the institutions want you to think. Look over here, my theory is proven correct. If you just check the VPVR, there's quite a little bit of volume here. It's not a lot, but there is, which means there are stops right below this level. So back to what I said before, market wants to attack liquidity. Now, is there a lot of liquidity here? Probably not, but there is still liquidity. And if institutions want to buy, they're not going to settle for like, $1.10 or $1 if they can get 90 cents. So because the liquidity is at this level, expect, right, don't be too surprised if ADA comes to attack this level, right, stops everyone out and then dumps all the way down to 0.7-ish, right? Over here at this point is where I'm going to be confidently calling a bottom on ADA, because not only if we just go onto the weekly chart, I believe this is a significant, weekly high and weekly low, but at the same time you've got VPVR supporting the theory as well, that there's volume at around this level for ADA to potentially find support at. So I know this has been a pretty merry-go-round sort of video where even I don't sound like I know what I'm talking about, and trust me, I am still new at this institutional trading concept, but I just feel like I needed to get this video out because recently, out of six calls that I made in the private Discord group, where I was trading it based on this institutional theory, 5 of them were exact sniper entries. So perhaps I will be changing my video style to cover more of like institutions, right? What are they thinking? And I guess the most important thing that you have to learn about institutions is that they attack the areas of liquidity. At the moment, it is right between this level. That's where most of the liquidity is located at. And trust me when I say you will see ADA at $1.10 for sure, right? It's going to be a pretty good level to pick up some ADA. That is going to be a level where, I would personally start dollar cost averaging. But if we do break below 1.10-ish, we're going straight down to, 0.96 potentially, because look right here, liquidity right below this level. So, the next logical point of support is going to be, about 0.98, 0.95-ish. So just pay attention to these levels, and you might notice that, I'm not going into the 4 hourly chart much, and that's because honestly there is no need to. The most that, if ADA pumps right now, you do not want to be going long on ADA, or you do not actually want to be buying ADA until we clear the liquidity down below here. Now you might think that, I'm just talking a bunch of bull, and how the heck could I possibly predict that liquidity is down here and we are going to attack the liquidity? Honestly, I don't know, but based on what I've learned so far, this is how the institutions think, and right now liquidity is down below here. If they are going to want to fill their orders, they will dump the price down to right about here, and that lines up with my Bitcoin theory as well. And by the way, if you want, the latest updates on what I'm doing with Bitcoin and my exact sniper entry, right? I called this level right here at 35k 700, right? We went exactly up to right about there, and then we dumped. And right now I'm expecting Bitcoin to go to at least 31k to 30k. So it lines up with ADA, to clear that liquidity. So don't sleep on this. And by the way, if you want access to exact sniper entries and, access to a world-class trading education where I literally break down everything that I know about trading, you are going to want to join the private Discord group. Right now, I'm only opening this for about 50 more members. I'm going to close this a little bit over 200 members because I want to be able to dedicate focused attention to every single member here, and I cannot do that if there are too many people. So if you want more detailed explanations on what I mean when I say institutional trading, you're going to want to join the private Discord group. Seriously, it's going to pay itself off in just 1 or 2 trades. And if you truly enjoyed this video so far, drop a like down below. It's a small gesture, but it really helps a lot. I'm going to be making updates on most of the coins, like the major coins, the popular coins like Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Link, based on this institutional theory. And so far it's been working out great. And just to leave you guys off with a bonus right now, if I just go onto AVAX. Now I don't know if you guys heard of AVAX, but in my personal opinion, I am very bullish on AVAX. However, the charts are telling me something else right now, and it's not looking particularly pretty. So notice how we have liquidity right below here and right below here. In fact, there's no liquidity here actually. The only liquidity we have, right, is right now. If you were trading just conventional support and resistance, you might think, hey, we just formed a double bottom here, right? Perhaps even a triple bottom. So it's time to go long, right? That's exactly what the whales want you to think, because if you went long here, your stop loss is going to be right below here, which means chances are the whales are going to dump on you, and it's probably going to drop AVAX down to about $10, give or take. So because over here is your next zone of logical support, but honestly, I would be looking more at, possibly $8 or $7.50, because if we just go onto the weekly chart, this area right here is a weekly low, right? This is a weekly high, and everything in between here is it's pretty much nothing. So this is your bonus for the, this is your bonus for sticking to the end of this video. If AVAX breaks down below like 12.25, 12.2, then you're going to want to take the short. Your first profit taking target is probably going to be $9.8, $8, give or take, and 100% you're going to want to take some profits off at, try to mark down these levels, right? I'm giving you the exact levels. If you cannot even be bothered to mark down these levels by yourself, then I cannot help you. Like, seriously, there's nothing more I can do for you. And if you watch until this point so far, congratulations, you are ahead of like 90% of people out there. And if you have watched until this point, drop a comment down below and say AVAX so that I know who the real ones are. So remember, fully expect ADA to go and attack the zones of liquidity, and if AVAX breaks below 12.2, you can take the short. It's going to be a brilliant little trade for at least you're going to get 20% profits on 20x or 10x. That's going to be at least 2 to 4 times your money. But realistically, I could possibly see AVAX go down to $7.50, in which case it's going to be a 4 to 8x. Of course, manage your risk properly and don't go too balls to the walls, because if you're wrong, then you're going to get absolutely wrecked. And I will make a update video on Bitcoin and the rest of the coins in the near future. At the moment, you're going to want to join the private Discord group, because that's where I'm giving most of my attention to. And as usual, may the gains be with you. I look forward to seeing you in the private Discord group, and peace.